I'm about to show you guys how you can plant yam in bags. I think there is a space in that. Right. Yeah. So these are already planted ones. You can see they are grown. Okay. So this is the position where the yam is going to, the bag is going to sit. So we don't fill them up from the, the position where the sand is, because it's going to be too heavy for you to lift up. So you just like pour a little bit of sand and then you bring it to the permanent position. So here, this is going to be the permanent position. So what he's going to do is that he's going to fill up this bag with this sand. All right. So you're about to see what the process looks like when you plant, yam in bags. In the video preceding these ones, I actually showed you guys the ones we initially planted. And if you've seen that video, this is how it looks now. You can see the leaves finally came out. They are blossoming. These are all the yam leaves, like blossoming. They are all yam leaves coming out from these yams. When I made that video, they were barely just bringing out leaves, and just a few of them. All right. So yeah, continue to show you guys how you can plant yams in bags. So currently we are filling up this bag. We are going to fill it almost to the brim, not completely, but almost. Why we prefer these Dangote bags, is because a lot of them are very long. You can see it's a very long bag, pretty long. So the yam has all that room to grow, has room to grow. So you can see the bag is almost filled right now. A couple of more shovel and then it's filled. All right. If you guys are trying this in your homes, let us know in the comment section. If you encounter any problems or you have any questions as regards to planting yams in bags that we call money bags, please leave your comment in the comment section. So this bag is almost filled. 1-2 more shovel of sand, I think they'll be done. Right? So you may ask, what are the best kind of soil you can use for planting? Well, it depends on what you can find, because I'm sure that in different areas there are different sand texture and types and all that. What we are using here is actually a sand dug out of a borehole. Okay, so we stay in an area whereby you can easily get sand. So luckily for us, our neighbor dug a borehole and a ton of sand came out of it, and they dumped it somewhere close to our place. And then we figured out, instead of hunting for sand somewhere, we can actually use that sand. And pretty much the result has been fantastic. As you can see, the leaves are very green. These are signs from a borehole. Their vegetative growth so far, it's fantastic. The yams are doing very well, very green. You can see close shot. These are what the leaves look like. So this is what I'm experimenting with. I'm not saying it's the best sand for planting yam, but we are just experimenting that. And also that's what we have available right now. So we're using that. So these are the ones that are already growing. You can see their leaves, very green, right? All the way down. So here it is what it looks like by the time you're done filling up the bag. You fill it to this level and is enough. Why do you leave the other room? You do that because you're going to be adding more fertilizer, you might be adding more soil, you know, you might be adding some other things, and you don't want it to get filled to the brim, you know. So you don't fill it to the brim, you just fill it to this point, and then I think you're enough. So the next thing I'm going to be showing you guys is how you actually plant the yam itself. All right, so it's gone over to get the yam. I can show you some of the yam seed that is left. So here are some of the yam seed that we have left. You know, we are beginning to run out of space where to plant them. Not actually space, but sand. The sand we're using actually ran out. Let me show them that process, please. See what here you just did here. So you just cut a little bit of. Can the video? You just cut a little bit of the yam off. Why do you do this? You actually do this so that you would help the yam to, you know, to rust faster. You know, once you cut it, it goes in the ground and then it begins to rot, you know. So if you don't aid it, it's going to take a longer time. All right, so right now we're going back to the sandbag to show you guys how you actually plant this particular yam. So you're going to see what it's going to do. So you see that he's actually digging not the center but the side of the yam. So this is very important when you're planting your, hold on please. This is very important. So he dug the side of the yam, sorry, the side of the sand, so that he would have room for the yam itself. But if you watch the head of the yam, where the yam is actually growing, it's centralized. You see, it's centralized, but the yam itself is to the corner. So that whole part of the yam is going to rust, and then the growth is going to come from the center. So it means when your tuber is coming out, it comes right at the middle. So it's going to grow down and it's going to be at the middle. You don't want to have it at the side. If you do have it at the side, it means you're going to give your bag some problem. The tuber itself is going to try to, you know, find a way through the bag. So you have to centralize it by placing it that way. And another thing you can notice from the planting is that it's very shallow. You know, he didn't dig like into the soil all the way, you know. So he just planted it at the surface. Why do you do this? You do this because you want to leave a whole room for the bag, sorry, for the tuber to grow. Because once the tuber begins to grow, it's going to find its way down. So you want to plant the yam itself at the surface, so you leave a whole room all the way down, and then you have your tuber coming out there. Shout out to Dangote, because you're actually getting a free publicity from this video. So that's the process of planting yam. Two things you have to have in mind is this: make sure that your yam is centralized. You know, you don't plant it in a way that the yam goes to the side, and then when it begins to grow, tuber affects the bag. So you centralize that growth, and then when it begins to grow the tuber, it's going to go down all the way through the middle, right? And you make sure you do it at the surface. Don't plant it deep, so that the yam has enough room to grow, right? So this is the process of planting yams. Next, we're going to be showing you guys is what happens. You know, what do you do once your yam begins to grow? Because in about 2 or 3 days, this particular yam is going to start coming out with roots, right? And because it's planted on the surface, the roots will be exposed when you begin to water the yam itself. So there is a process how we take care of that. I'll be showing you that process in a few minutes. All right. If you are new on this channel, do make sure you subscribe, and also make sure you like and thumb and share with your friends, you know, and we'll be bringing you guys more updates as the yam progresses. All right, so look at this. This is a stretch of a farm. It's a whole stretch from that part all the way. Guess how many yams were planted in this tiny space of our land? in my backyard. You have over 100, about 101 bags. The bag we just planted makes it 101. It was initially 100 bags. So you are seeing a farmyard in a backyard. And in this tiny space, we have succeeded to plant 101 tubers of yam seeds. So when these are fully grown, ready for harvest, you are guaranteed at least 200 plus big, mighty, giant tubers of yam that you can eat, share with your family, friends, or sell in the market, whatever you decide to do with them. All right. So next up, we are going to watch how we actually protect the roots of the yam so that we don't expose them to sunlight and other harmful bacteria. All right, so here we are going to show you guys why you need to actually cover the yam with leaves, you know, when they begin to come out. As you can see, this particular one, this bag is not covered with leaves. It's just sand that are in there. But watch what happens when you begin to water them. I mean, sometimes you don't get rain, and say for a couple of days or a week there is no rain, you need to water yourself. So just what happens when you begin to water this particular yam that has no leaves. You can see the leaves are being exposed. All right. So we are going to come back to this particular yam in another 5 minutes. Once the water is like drained, you can see what happens. By then you would have seen that the roots will be exposed. All the roots will be out. Remember that these yams were planted on the surface, you know, so there is a need to protect the roots from sunlight, from, you know, organisms that actually they might be exposed to. So we come back in 5 minutes to see what happens once the water is gone. All right, so we are back here. I'm going to show you guys the bag that we actually watered a few minutes ago, what it looks like now. So here is that particular bag. As you can see, the water has pretty much drained, and now you have the roots outside. They're exposed. You see, this is the reason why you have to get leaves or grass, dry grass, and cover those yams once you plant them, so that they can be protected when rain falls or when you water them. Their roots will not be exposed, and the sun is not going to scorch and kill them, or some insect or bacteria or whatever, you know. Just make sure they are protected. As you can see, these ones well protected. You can see the root, very covered, well covered, and all of those. So here you can see this one is actually covered, well covered with leaves. Watch the difference when you actually water it. You can see that the water bounces off the leaf, does not move any earth. It just easily drains down, and the roots are still very much protected. They don't get exposed, they are very much protected. Unlike the first one, without leaves covering. Once you begin to pour the water, it moves the earth and then exposes the root. So this is a process that you must ensure that you carry out to protect your yam. So more process of planting yams in bags will be coming in the next episode of the video. We'll show you when is the right time to apply your NPK. We're actually going to show you what kind of other fertilizers that we add to them. We do add manures, cow dung, you know, chicken drops, or whatever manure you can find. So more of these will be coming in subsequent videos. This is the yam we planted earlier, and now we are undertaking the process of actually covering the surface of that soil with leaves to protect the root. The roots are now well protected. Once you begin to water them, or once the rain begins to fall, it will not expose the root. Very easy process, but very effective and important.